and welcome to Wednesday Night Live Spirit, Mind, and Body Connection. I am Dr. Sharon Stroud. I am the founder of Interfaith Spiritual Center Worldwide, where we believe there's a power for good in the universe greater than we are, and we can use it. And we are using it every single day of our lives, whether we are consciously aware of it or not. So, our theme for the month has been living in the light. And we know that each and every one of us has that light within us. In fact, when the beautiful biblical scripture, let your light so shine before the world that humanity will see who you are and glorify the heaven within your own consciousness. So, energetically, as we are living in the light, as we are opening to the light, as we are breathing in the light and allowing this energy to move through us, to live and move and have our being in the light, we move to the next level of consciousness. And it is about being conscious. So I welcome you to Wednesday Night Live Spirit, Mind, and Body Connection. I acknowledge our commitment to grow, to expand, to unfold in this light. I would like to wish all of you who are having happy birthdays. I'm just going to do a little shout out. Happy birthday, Carl. And all of you who are joining Carl in his birthday. All of you have a date with destiny today. So we're moving right into our wonderful theme tonight is about, and I love this, the law of non-resistance. I want to welcome Marlene and welcome Michael. So good to see you with me. And of course, we have Miss Minnie here, and she's relaxing on my lap here, and she just loves being part of our energy for our virtual community. And as I set the tone tonight, I always share with you a chant from the Gandhi Foundation. And it's so beautiful because it was sent to me in 1987 during the harmonic convergence. And it was also a singing bowl. And in 1987, believe me, no one knew what they were. Now they are very common. We go to beautiful sound baths. We have that energy. Isn't it amazing how life unfolds in miraculous ways when something is at a high vibrational frequency and we are vibrating to that frequency? So I use the Tibetan bells, and when I received the chant in 1987, I loved it so much that I just continued on incorporating it in my services because I felt it was so very, very powerful and so heart opening. And it resonates to the heart chakra. Remember, a chakra is a wheel of spinning energy in a clockwise fashion, that we have 7 major chakras within this body temple. And we make the longest journey tonight, the 18-inch journey from the head to the heart. So as I invite you to repeat after me, you can do it audibly if you feel comfortable doing that. If you don't, just as I make the declaration into the law of mind, just repeat it to yourself silently and place your hand on your heart. I believe that we were given a heart so that we would live one moment at a time, beat, by precious beat, moment by precious moment. And as we feel the beating of our heart, remember the heart is the doorway to the soul. Where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. So I'm going to move right into our chant from the Gandhi Foundation and inviting you just to repeat after me audibly or silently, whatever you feel comfortable with here tonight. I offer you peace. I offer you friendship. I offer you love. I see your beauty. I hear your needs. I feel your feelings. My wisdom flows from a higher source. I salute that source in you. Come, let us work together. Come, Let us work together. Come, let us work together. Right now, somewhere in the world, a Jew is saying her prayers. A Hindu is chanting a mantra, and a Buddhist is kneeling at her sacred shrine. Right now, at this very moment, someone is lighting a candle in a cathedral. Someone is making their Hajj toward Mecca, for it is the will of Allah. And yet someone else is lighting a fire in a jungle, repeating an ancient mystical drama. Many, many pathways up the mountaintop, and the view is always the same from the summit. In the dawning of the spiritual sun, for a moment all faiths became as one. The Christian, Buddhist, Muslim, Jew became as one and somehow knew that mystic voice that calls to me, oh, yonder, yonder person, I am thee. We are one. This oneness moves beyond color, race, creed, sexual orientation, and political affiliation. The blood that courses through my veins is the same color of blood that courses through your veins. We are one. And in this oneness do we live and move and have our being. And so it is. And so it shall be forevermore. So I again welcome you to Wednesday Night Live Spirit, Mind, and Body Connection. I also want to welcome Trish. Glad to see that you're here. And it looks like Jama is here. Yes, wonderful. Great. Tonight and our theme for the month, again, is Living in the Light. And our topic for tonight is the law of non-resistance. Now, it's really amazing. Jesus, who became the Christ, as his humanness gave way to the divine, the Christ consciousness arose triumphant and victorious. And in our way of life in metaphysics, we are about Christ consciousness. Remember when Jesus said, the works that I do, ye shall do also, and even greater works ye shall do than I do. Even greater works ye shall do. He did not set himself up as this great exception to be worshiped. He said, why callest thou me good? There is only one good, that is God. In other words, we are all co-creators with this supreme energy that lives and moves and has its being at the center of our one life. So when Jesus said to agree with thine adversary quickly, turn the other cheek, and resist not, what he was saying was turn away from the negativity. Don't buy into it. Don't give it energy. Resist not. And what is so powerful is that energetically water is known as the greatest power because it flows and it resists not. And yet, what does it do? Huge rocks suddenly, they groove their way through the rocks, and whatever else is, they just make the adjustment. And I believe that as we make the adjustment in life, that as we turn away from the negativity, and it's so easy to buy into it, we're all subject to the human condition, each and every one of us. I don't care how long you've been in the ministry. I don't care how long you've been in metaphysics. We're all subject to the human condition, aren't we? So we have compassion for ourselves and others, and we learn to draw the larger circle. And when we learn to draw the larger circle, remember, he drew a circle that shut me out, but love and I had the wit to win. We drew a circle that took him in. So in that consciousness of drawing the larger circle, that is so powerful, isn't it? It is so amazing when we really learn to do that and we are not subjectively involved. The moment we're subjectively involved and we have an energy charge, hey, gang, we have work to do. We have unfinished business. So we go within, and as we go within, it's usually from childhood, and say, what is this about? And when we see what it's about, to compassionate with ourselves, with the situation, and then remember that which needs to be healed is healed, that which needs to be revealed is revealed, that which needs to be known is known, and that which needs to be released is released quickly, gently, and with grace. And so we let it go. And as these things, I had a few things, this week that occurred, and I could feel myself reacting within myself. And I just took a deep cleansing breath, and I held on to it for a while. And then I was just able to let go and let God do what God does best by means of me. And when we allow ourselves to just let it go, take a deep cleansing breath and let it go. Inhale, peace, exhale, whatever we need to exhale, right? Whether it's dis-ease or whatever that is. We just inhale love, and then pretty soon we're exhaling gratitude that we're in a higher place. So I want us to know that when we're part of that human condition and we're buying into the appearance or the condition or the effect that comes up, and we're not always going to be at this high energy state. Wherever we are, just to know that we are in the world. We're in the world to have our experience. We're in the world to learn and to grow and to unfold, right? I always say in miraculous ways, but we're not always feeling miraculous. We're not always feeling in that high state of consciousness. However, for me, that's a trigger just to go within. And I have a slant board. It's really a slant cushion, but in my day, we had actual boards. And the feet are elevated and the blood is rushing to your head and you're in a relaxed state. And then I go into my own spiritual treatment and acknowledge that there really is one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect, and that life is my life right here and right now. And that whatever is going on in the outer world, it has nothing to do with me. I return it to its native nothingness. And when we return things to their native nothingness, what happens? We do not take it on. And when we take it on, to be ever so reminded to let go and let God do what God does best. And that is what? To extend love to ourselves, others, and ultimately the planet. Now, in the Science of Mind textbook, and I really hope you all have it, this is the beautiful collector's item of the 100th anniversary of Dr. Ernest Holmes. And I love this because he talks at the Beatitude that when Jesus was giving his Sermon on the Mount. And one of them was what? The meek shall inherit the earth. Now, isn't it fascinating? Because many people that aren't vibrating, let's say at the highest frequency, mistake kindness for weakness. But kindness is one of the most powerful states of being that we can attain to. I mean, it's right up there with nirvana, heaven on earth. So he says, the meek shall inherit the earth. This is a teaching of non-resistance. Warlords and plunderers of human possessions have come and gone. Kingdoms have risen, only to crumble in dust, never to be remembered. Passion and lust for power have strewn the earth with destruction. It would seem as though the meek had lost out in the titanic struggle for temporal supremacy. In the midst of this drama of human existence, I love this. I just love this. Jesus declared that the meek shall inherit the earth. Let us inquire if his teaching is a true one. Do we teach our children to follow the steps of a Caesar or a Napoleon? Or do we tell them the story of Jesus or Buddha? The cross is mightier than the crown, and we teach our children that love masters everything. The meek shall inherit the earth. To whom have our artists turned for inspiration and that quickening power which enables them to depict the ideal? Not the warlords, not even the captains of industry, but to the meek. Yes, to the meek. What characteristics are set before us as being worthy? Have not faith and belief in the divine goodness been the theme of our greatest singers? Who could write a beautiful story about hell? But heaven and love have inspired thousands to the uplifting of humanity. Jesus was right when he said that the meek shall inherit the earth. They have done so and will continue to do so forevermore. The meek shall inherit the earth. What that means for me is that humility. And in our way of life, I've had people say, well, it just sounds so conceited to love yourself. But in the Bible, when it states, love thy neighbor as thyself, which what? Presupposes that we are loving ourselves. And that as we love ourselves, then all of that energy spills out into everyone and anyone who comes within our energy field. So the difference between uh, uh, confidence and conceit is humility, where I know that I am created in the image and likeness of God, that it is not only good, what? It is very, very good. And one of the things I love about our way of life is that we can recreate our experience at any moment, and that we go through our challenges, we have our sufferings, our losses, part of the human condition. But aren't we resilient? We rise up in that energy, knowing at the very deepest level that we are here to live out our destiny, that we have a divine appointment. Nothing happens by chance. And if you're tuning in tonight, I want you to know, not by chance, but by divine appointment. By divine appointment. So when we look at the law of non-resistance, how powerful not to give outer things our energy, and that as things are thrown at us, to merely allow ourselves to look at these things. And I've learned to say, interesting, really interesting. And of course, remember the ancient Chinese never cursed anyone. They only wished them an interesting life. And many of us have had very, very interesting lives, haven't we? Absolutely. So let it be a trigger. The minute you feel your blood pressure rising, or you feel, that energy, let it be a trigger symbol. And of course, the knees represent surrender. And in many of the great paintings, uh, I've been to Florence, and I've seen the beautiful, beautiful paintings of all of the saints and the apostles, kneeling. Jesus knelt in the Garden of Gethsemane. The knees represent surrender. I of myself can do nothing. It is the power within me that does the work. And the minute that I think I have to do it, suddenly, where does our energy go? We're grabbing it from the outer, and the relative world will never give us what we need. However, as we go within, blessing the energy of surrender, realizing, yes, I of myself can do nothing. It is the power within me that does the work. Not my will, but thine be done. What does that mean? Not my will, not my ego, not going to power through, but the meek shall inherit the earth. The power of non-resistance. I'm letting go, and I'm letting God do what God does best by means of me. This is the way. Walk ye in it. So tonight, when we look at, various things that come up, if we just take that deep cleansing breath, as we truly let go and let God, It's always about extending love, compassion, and understanding, isn't it? For ourselves and others. And as we acknowledge energetically the opportunity that we have, especially in the middle of a crisis, that it is an opportunity for us to move to the next level. And that as things come up, that's all part of the human condition. I want you to know things are always going to come up, always going to come up. And as they come up, we bless them. We acknowledge that we're here, each and every one of us, together, and that we're not going to be bosom buddies with everybody, but to acknowledge that the Christ within me salutes the Christ within you. And that Buddha nature within me salutes that Buddha nature within you, right? That holy I am presence within each and every one of us, wherever we are. And it's not about holding, oh, I have such a high consciousness and they don't. Everyone is right where they need to be to learn what they need to learn. And so it's not about judging. Remember, I tear down the walls of opinion that separate my brothers and sisters from me. I set them free from the projection of myself so I may see them as they are. I will not measure them with the yardstick of yesterday, for perhaps in the night an angel of light revealed to them what they are, and today, right now, they may be that. This moment. So I cannot judge them from the yardstick of yesterday, right? I go within and I acknowledge our oneness, and we may be so different. And I believe that we are drawn together through our similarities, and we grow through our differences, don't we? We grow and unfold in miraculous ways. And as long as we're here on the Earth Mother, with arms outstretched to Sky Father, acknowledging tonight is the full moon, that beautiful harvest moon. So as we bless Sky Father, Earth Mother, Grandmother Moon, what? Grandfather Sun, the finned ones below, the winged ones above, the creepy crawlies that cleanse and purify the Earth Mother. Ah, yes, the rock people that share their sermons and stones, the standing ones, the trees, and our sister, the babbling brook that shares her song in a universe filled with calm, and all the little four-leggeds that romp and roam upon the Earth Mother. Ah, yes, this is their home. It is our home. We did not weave the web of life. We are merely a strand on it. And with great unconditional positive regard, we bow to one another. We bow to that energy at the heart level. I of myself can do nothing. It is the power within me that does the work. Not my will, but thine be done. So the minute you think you have to power through something, that's a trigger. That's the ego. But as we let go and we allow the universe to flow through us, each and every one of us, we are all channels. Each and every one of us is a channel of the Most High. And the more light that flows through is when we get, as Emerson said, our bloated nothingness out of the way and let the divine flow through. So tonight we make a commitment, don't we? And as we make that commitment tonight, we make it to ourselves. And as we make this commitment to ourselves, we remember the meek shall inherit the earth, that kindness is not weakness. It is powerful energy. It moves mountains. We say to this mountain, remove hence, and it does, because with God, all things are possible. But with man, they are impossible. So let's move mountains through love. And as things show up in our own lives, resist not. As things come at us, agree with thine adversary quickly. And as we agree with thine adversary quickly and turn the other cheek, we are turning away from evil. We are turning away from negativity. We are turning away from error thoughts. So, and it doesn't mean like agree with, whatever's they may be saying something that is just so diametrically opposed to our own belief system and our experience of life. We're not talking about agreeing in that way, but not adding fuel to the energy that no longer serves us. Because what? I love what Ernest Holmes said, that, that if we argue and try to convince a man against his will, he's of the same opinion still. That's going to go nowhere. But we're going to let go and let God do what God does best by means of each and every one of us. So I want to thank you so much for tuning in tonight as we approach life with this humility and this knowingness that to be meek and to express kindness is power. But it's the power that comes from the divine and flows through us. It's not the relative world. It's the eternal part of us that moves on beyond time and space, birth and death, to rebirth. The meek shall inherit the earth. So I want to thank each and every one of you that as you have tuned in and part of our virtual community, it's just been an absolute joy for me to interact with you. I see that Rhonda's here from Florida. Welcome, Rhonda, and good evening. And if I've learned how to navigate through this, and we can show certain wonderful comments, which is very nice. So thank you very, very much, Rhonda. Lovely. And for all of you who have tuned in, and all of you who are sending in your tithes, your love offerings, your financial gifts, you keep our doors open. And Dr. Holmes said something so powerful. He said, "We do not give to make God feel better. We give to deepen, broaden, and expand the life of the giver." So the same opening I give through truly is the same opening that I receive through. And I've experienced it over and over. And being a minister on October 12th was my 46th anniversary in the ministry. And I am the longest serving minister in the New Thought movement of consecutive years. I didn't take 20 years off to do something else. It's been consecutive. And I was the first female president of the United Church of Religious Science School of Ministry. And so I have some wonderful memories, absolutely wonderful memories. So thank you very much for being who you are, giving of your time, your energy, your money, your resources, and the opportunity that we have together to grow and unfold in miraculous ways. And I say to you, namaste. The divinity within me salutes the divinity within you. And the divinity within you salutes the divinity within me. And if I'm in that place in me, and you are in that place in you, there truly is only one of us. Namaste. Shalom, the peace that passes all understanding. And what? God bless us, every single one. So Miss Minnie and I, we are going to say, I love you. We are grateful for you. And guess what? We'll see you next week. Yes, we will. God bless.